Arriving swiftly with protective suits and equipment, the team approached cautiously, knowing that a distressed rhino could be just as dangerous as the swarm. They used smoke to drive the bees away, creating space around the struggling animal. The rhino, exhausted and covered in stings around its face and sensitive areas, collapsed near a watering hole. Medics on the team rushed to calm it with a mild sedative, allowing them to clean the wounds and apply soothing medicine. Hours later, the great beast began to stir, its breathing steadier, its eyes no longer clouded with pain. The rescue team stayed nearby until it regained strength, watching it rise and trot slowly back into the safety of the grasslands. The dramatic rescue not only saved the rhino but also reminded everyone present of the delicate balance of nature, and the bravery required to protect it. Dr. Kamenzi, the team's lead veterinarian, knelt beside the animal, carefully adjusting the sedative dosage to ensure the rhino stayed calm but not fully unconscious. "We have to move quickly," she said in a firm, steady voice. "The toxins from so many stings can cause shock, even in an animal this size." Two rangers brought in crates of medical supplies while another sprayed a fine mist of smoke around the area to keep any straggling bees from returning. The atmosphere was tense, with the soft hum of bees still lingering in the air, mixing with the heavy breathing of the exhausted giant. "Look at his eyes," whispered one of the younger rangers, Tabo. "He's in so much pain." Dr. Kamenzi gently wiped the swollen lids of the rhino's eyes with a medicated cloth, her hands moving with a mixture of precision and compassion. "Yes," she murmured, "but he's a fighter. If he had given up back there, we wouldn't even have had a chance to help." The rescue team worked tirelessly, applying cooling ointments to the sensitive areas and removing venomous stingers still lodged in the folds of his thick skin. Every action was carried out under the watchful eye of the setting sun, as the wilderness seemed to pause, as though even the other creatures of the savanna understood that a battle for survival was unfolding before them. Suddenly, the rhino groaned deeply, shifting his massive body in the dust. The ground vibrated beneath his weight, and the rescuers froze. Even sedated, an animal of such size and power could cause devastating injuries if it panicked. The team leader, Ranger Elias, raised his hand in a calming gesture. "Stay still, everyone," he said softly, his eyes fixed on the animal. "He's disoriented, but he needs to know we're not here to harm him." The rhino's ears flicked weakly, as though trying to register the sounds around him. His breathing slowed, his enormous head dropping back onto the earth with a heavy thud. Relief washed over the rescuers, and work resumed, but the moment reminded everyone just how dangerous and delicate this mission was. After hours of treatment, the team faced their next challenge, ensuring the rhino could recover in safety. The attack had occurred near a cluster of hives, and though the swarm had scattered, bees were known to regroup and become aggressive once more. Leaving the rhino in that location was not an option. "We'll have to move him," said Dr. Kamenzi. "There's a shaded glade near the western marshlands, away from the hives. He'll be safe there and close to water." Moving a fully grown rhinoceros was no small task. The team secured a heavy-duty stretcher built for large wildlife rescues and carefully positioned it beneath the animal. With ropes, pulleys, and sheer determination, they managed to lift the colossal body onto the stretcher, straining every muscle as they worked in perfect unison. As the rescue truck rumbled closer, the team coordinated the transfer, their bodies slick with sweat, their faces set with unwavering focus. Finally, with one last heave, the rhino was secured in the transport cradle, his immense form filling nearly the entire bed of the vehicle. The journey to the glade was tense. The rough terrain meant every bump could jostle the rhino's already fragile state. The team rode alongside, constantly monitoring his breathing, adjusting the oxygen flow, and keeping him cool with damp cloths. The savanna stretched endlessly around them, the silence broken only by the growl of the engine and the occasional cry of distant birds returning to their nests. At last, the truck pulled into the shaded glade. The area was quiet, lined with tall acacias and bordered by the gentle waters of the marsh. It was a sanctuary compared to the chaos they had left behind. Slowly and carefully, the team lowered the stretcher, easing the rhino onto a soft bed of grass near the water's edge. For a long moment, everyone stood still, watching. The rhino remained motionless, his massive body blending with the earthy tones of the landscape. Doubts crept into their minds. Had they been too late? had the venom and exhaustion taken more from him than they could give back. Then, with a low rumble that vibrated through the ground, the rhino exhaled. His ears twitched, and he shifted slightly, as though testing his strength. "Doctor." Kamenzi knelt once more, placing a gentle hand on his side. "That's it, big guy," she whispered. "You're safe now. Rest. Heal." The team set up a temporary camp nearby, determined to watch over their patient through the night. Lanterns flickered as the rescuers took turns on guard, listening to the soft sounds of the wilderness, the chirping of insects, the croak of frogs, the distant call of hyenas. Around the fire, the rescuers shared quiet words, reflecting on the events of the day. Ranger Elias, gazing into the flames, finally broke the silence. "What we did today wasn't just about saving one animal. It was about preserving a piece of this land's soul. Every rhino carries the weight of an entire species, a reminder of what we stand to lose if we don't protect them." The others nodded, their fatigue softened by a shared sense of purpose. They knew the rhino's recovery would take time, but they had given him the chance, something the swarm had nearly stolen away. By dawn, the first rays of sunlight filtered through the trees, casting a golden glow across the glade. The rhino stirred again, this time with more